Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Carpool MMA. I'm your host, Ian Parker, back for picks. Those of you that picked up on the Anthony Pettis win, mind-blowing, I know. I would love to take credit for that. Obviously, we hit every other fight that we chose on that card, so congrats to everyone who followed my picks. I appreciate the support. It's pretty awesome that in the last couple weeks I've been getting a lot of recognition from my work on the Anik Florian podcast, and we're just going to keep moving forward, keep rolling, all right? Let's start off with this weekend's card, UFC on ESPN in Philadelphia. As usual, a couple of quick picks. Ray Borg, he's fighting a newcomer, and Borg is so well-rounded, guys, and he hasn't been in the cage for a while. He's going to come out guns a-blazing. And don't take him straight up. He's minus 450. That's kind of rough. I would parlay him with someone like Desmond Green. Des Green is fighting Ross Pearson along with Alex Perez. You could do those three guys in a parlay for even money. I have no problem with that. I think Alex Perez is just better everywhere than Mark De La Rosa. I think De La Rosa is talented. I just don't think he's as talented as Alex Perez. Perez has fought better competition. I like him. Back to Desmond Green for a second. I know I'm going a little quickly here, but you guys know how I like to get these quick picks out first, and then we get to like the main card and all that fun stuff. Ross Pearson's just fading. I think he's a good boxer. He's very technical. But Des Green is just, unfortunately, he fights down to his competition as opposed to up. However, I think he's come a long way. His athleticism is really a strong point. He's kind of just a freak athletically. And I think Ross Pearson is on the way down. I think Des is on the way up. So like I said, parlaying those guys, I have no problem with it. In regards to the main card, okay, because this is where a lot of you guys, where most of the people watch, you don't really focus on the undercard. So, I like Sabina over Miraz also. I know I was talking to a gentleman on Twitter who really liked her, and he's not, I'm not a big fan of taking women at that part of divisions of weight classes only because it can go either way. However, Marina Moreau is just she's very hesitant to do what she does best sometimes. And Sabina is definitely a solid prospect. So if you're going to bet on that fight, go with Sabina. As I told him, I don't have a problem with it. I'm probably going to do it too. It's just not one of my like lock picks that I really like to recommend. So I would still stay away from it. But if you're going to do it, I think Sabina is the more solid pick. Marina Rodriguez against Jessica Aguilar. Aguilar is another one that's pioneered the sport, but she's on her way out. I wouldn't go straight up on Rodriguez because, again, it's like a minus 300. Parlay with the other big ones, so you have a little bit better than an even money play. Joseph Sudik against Moraes. Very, very interesting matchup. Moraes is known for his elbows, right? It's very hard when guys are known for their elbows standing because it's not that hard to defend, and it's sometimes a little too predictable. He's he's a very good athlete though. Another guy who is I think he's an up and coming guy who's really good. But there's something about Sodik Yosef that's just really exciting. This is a guy who works his ass off, who's proven himself. You know who he is. He's technically pretty sound, man, and I don't see him losing this fight. At minus 185, I believe he is right now, or minus 155. I think it dropped a little bit. I like Sodik Yosef in this fight. I think that they are doing it the right way with him. A guy like this who's exciting, who's in the lighter weight classes, who's got knockout power, and he's just very explosive. Sometimes they rush these guys into they kind of throw them in the deep water a little too fast, too soon, and it throws them off. And essentially, when they get that first loss, it sets them back so far. It's better to get them really comfortable in the octagon. It's a hard enough place to fight as it is under the bright lights, whether you're on the undercard or the main card. I think bringing these guys up a little bit more slowly than it's been done over the last few years is definitely the way to go. So I like Sodik Yosef in this fight. I do think he will knock out Moraes. I'm not a big fan of betting those props. As you guys know, I'm more, unless I am on the Anik and Floyd show and I have to. Otherwise, I like Sodik Yosef. I'm a fan of his, man. He's just so explosive. He's exciting to watch. I just don't see him losing this fight. I just don't think Moraes has anything that's of concern that I haven't seen, style-wise to go up against a style like this. So I think we're good there. All right. So Kennedy, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the last name right now. I don't have it in front of me. This is me with you guys. I don't have cue cards, so I'm doing this all by memory. Against Paul Craig. Paul Craig is he got very lucky, okay, in that, in the last fight he lost, which he actually did a lot better than expected against, what was his name? I'm sorry, the young and up and coming Australian guy, British guy. Oh, man, well, whatever it is. You know, he was losing that first fight badly, and he won by the triangle. I think he's in a lot of trouble here. Okay, this guy Kennedy again, another explosive, strong fighter. I think he plays perfectly into what Paul Craig is not good at. So feel free to throw some nice money down on Kennedy. I know I might not be giving the best analysis because we don't know a ton, but Paul Craig is just not great anywhere. Okay, he's good off his back. He's good, and he's able to utilize sweeps, where he threatens the Kimura and he's able to reverse position. But against anyone who's like a semi-decent jiu-jitsu guy, it's all about positioning. Um, and against anyone who is just super strong like this guy Kennedy, I don't see it happening. And I think Paul Craig's going to be in a lot of danger in the striking department here. He does not have the best chin, and I think Kennedy's going to it's going to be a nightmare for Paul Craig. I'm surprised the odds are as low as they are, because I really like Kennedy in this fight. I really do. Interesting fight here for me, Carolina Kovalchevich versus Michelle Waterson. Listen, just like everybody else, how do you not like the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson? She's been around for a long time. She got the whole mom thing going. She's cool. She's very sweet. She's very big on the original martial arts, and she's adapted to the sport better than most through her jiu-jitsu. Okay? Karate chick, obviously, but her jiu-jitsu is pretty good. I think she's in a lot of trouble here, though, folks. I really, really do. And again, I can't believe the odds are as low as they are. Carolina is so good, it's not even funny. You guys want to say, oh, she got knocked out in her last fight. Look who knocked her out, though. Okay? And it was the first time. So we're gonna say, oh, she got knocked out this one time by someone who has the ability to knock her out. So we're gonna all of a sudden discount her abilities. Stupid fucking idea. This chick, and I don't think she was necessarily the best person to go against Joanna when Joanna was the champ and the dominant champ, but she went the full 5 rounds with her, and there were rounds that she won, and she looked really good. Okay, in the fight against Felice Herrig, she did whatever she wanted to do, guys, and Felice Herrig's no joke, been around for a while too. This is not a good fight for Michelle Waterson because I don't think she's going to get Carolina down at all. And if it's a striking battle, which Michelle Waterson is a good striker, but when she goes against people range-wise, she's going to have issue. I don't think remember, Carolina comes from a kickboxing background, okay? I think Carolina is going to win by decision. It's going to be a dominant decision. Unless Waterson can get the fight to the ground and put Carolina on her back, that's her best opportunity. I just don't see it happening. I'm going to go Carolina Kovalchevich. I just think she's better everywhere at this point in her career. Her takedown defense is very solid. Her cardio is for days. She's got better cardio than Michelle. I think she's got better striking than Michelle. I think she's physically stronger than Michelle. And she's fought just as good as a competition, as not if not better. And that's so weird to say because Michelle's been around for forever and a day. But Carolina's been there. She's been to the show. She's been to the main event. She's been to the co-main event. And, she's got a long career ahead of her. I think one day she will be a champ. I don't see Michelle being able to beat her. I'm going Carolina Kovalchevich in that one. All right. David Branch versus Jack Hermanson. If I pronounce that wrong again, it's not in front of me, and I don't give a shit. I'm very confused here, guys. I'm very confused at the odds, the way the spread is, because this is going to play into our favor. All right, I'm going to tell you why. David Branch, who I am picking David Branch, by the way, if that's just to lead off with this. Jack has not fought anyone even close to the level of competition that David Branch has fought. Between Luke Rockhold, between Thiago Santos, between guys like Gerald Harris even, we can go all the way down the line. Branch has been around for a long time. Look, he was a double division champ with the World Series of Fighting, which people may discount, but guys, he fought some tough guys there. I mean, guys that can compete with Jack Hermanson here. So I'm saying to myself, why is Branch underdog? Okay. His loss to Jacare, fine. His loss to Jared Cannonier, that's the one. By losing to Cannonier, that really knocked Branch's rankings down because he was supposed to dominate in that fight. And he got caught. He got cocky. He got caught. Branch is one of the best jiu-jitsu guys out there, guys. He just hasn't really had to utilize it yet. And in his fight against Luke Rockhold, guys, Branch won that first round. Now, yes, he didn't win the fight. Luke found a way to make it work, but We're talking about Luke Rockhold, who was a middleweight champion, who's going to be a force to reckon with at 205, who won the Strikeforce belt from Jacare, and Branch went into it and who has been the did what he had to do, came in and he took the first round from Luke. Again, he lost, but talk about Luke Rockhold. All right, people are going to say, "Oh, Jack Hermanson's a better striker. He's going to apply the pressure." So what? What do you think? Branch hasn't seen this before? I'll be honest with you guys. Can Branch lose this fight? Yeah, of course, anyone can lose a fight. But I think David Branch is going to go into this fight differently than against Cannonier. Against Cannonier, he might have been a little too cocky with his striking. Probably felt like because Cannonier was way shorter, that his range is going to be there. When Branch has something to prove, that's when David Branch succeeds and he excels. And here, he's got something to prove that his fight against Thiago Santos was not a fluke and that he belongs in the UFC, at least in the top 10, which I believe he does. That division doesn't have a ton of depth, so it makes sense. I think David Branch is going to win this fight by submission, okay? This is another guy that, please don't do this to me. The George Gurzel syndrome. You're a crazy black belt in jiu-jitsu and your striking is decent. Use your striking, set up the takedown, and go to town. I think that's what David Branch does in this fight. There's nothing to analyze for me about Jack Hermansson. I think Jack Hermansson has to keep this fight standing to win. And I think David Branch is good enough to not get in a brawl, okay, to weather the storm of the first 2 minutes of the fight and get this fight to the fucking ground, man. I think David Branch is going to win this fight. I like him as an underdog. All right, I really, really do. Who else we got? Let's just go to the main event. Fuck it. All right, main event: Edson Barboza Jr. versus Justin Gaethje. I'm going to keep this shit short and simple, guys. Justin Gaethje is saying he'd be dumb. He said in an interview that he'd be dumb to not think about wrestling Edson Barboza. Right? Well, he shouldn't be dumb enough to not consider wrestling against anybody because here's the deal. When you are a wrestler, but you can strike, you got heavy hands, right? You have to be able to threaten your striking in order for the wrestling to work or vice versa. The problem is that Gaethje is very strong and he's very tough. That's his huge strength, okay? The problem, though, is that everyone's expecting a brawl against someone like Barboza, who is a very good range fighter and has the best, most wicked, vicious kicks on the history of the world, okay? It's so bad for Gaethje because he's never going to have a chance to get into the pocket and throw that overhand right. And Barboza is not James Vick. He's not. He's not going to want to brawl, show the fans that he can brawl. He's not going to get his back against the cage, leave his chin up in the air for Gaethje to touch it. You're going to see a lot of push kicks. You're going to see those leg kicks from Barboza. You're going to see the beautiful combinations. If Gaethje does not come out and shoot for an outside single, okay, he is in for a world of hurt. I'm sorry to I give credit to Justin Gaethje, but honestly, his style of fighting has become just plain stupid. Okay, he's a lot better than the way he fights. All right, is it exciting as a fan? Oh fuck yeah, of course it is. Okay, but I'd rather see Justin Gaethje smarten up a little bit and utilize his wrestling to really threaten that overhand right and that striking because guys like Barboza are not going to fall into that trap. They're too smart. When you get to this point in the division, unless you're fighting a guy like Dustin Poirier who could technically brawl and intelligently brawl, okay, Gaethje it's just not going to last very long. Barboza's kicks are too technically sound. He's too smart with them. He throws them with such precision, timing, and a guy like this, his takedown defense is good enough that Gaethje's shots, when they are going to come in, if they do, will be so predictable. He'll be able to stand them up, push off, and get back to range. I like Edson Barboza here in this fight, guys. So, Ray Borg, Des Green, Alex Perez, what's her face? Rodriguez over Aguilar, Sodik Yusuf, Kennedy, who else did I say? Help me out here for a second. Oh, David Branch is the underdog, Edson Barboza. Oh, and we could talk about Michael Johnson, Josh Emmett a little bit real quick. This fight throws me the fuck off, man, because when they say it's an even money fight, it's pretty smart. Michael Johnson's very fast, can pump it out. I think Michael Johnson is better, in regards to the combinations he's going to throw. But his wrestling's not going to be a threat here. I think Josh Emmett's too good of a defensive wrestler. I think Josh Emmett is going to be a little bit too powerful. I think he learned his lesson from his last fight that he should have won. Okay? I'm not going to listen. If you guys are up a lot of money going to this fight and you had to bet it, I would go Josh Emmett. I think Emmett is at a point in his career where he took that hard loss that he needed to get better, to evolve. This fight is a very hard fight to come back to. Michael Johnson is very underrated, dude. He's fucking really good. Michael Johnson is probably one of the more underrated guys, whether it's 45 or 55. Dude can scrap. He's fast. He's got good wrestling. He's got great cardio. I mean, he was whooping Justin Gaethje's ass until his tank just went out. So if you're up money, remember, I'm not saying this is a lock. It's not. If you're up money, I would personally go Josh Emmett. I'm not betting on that fight, but I will tell you, if I hit all the big ones I just told you about, I will throw something on Josh Emmett just to have fun during the fight. I just think he's more technically sound-ish. I think he's stronger. I think his game plans are usually better, meaning that when he has a game plan and sticks to it and executes it, it's better than what Michael Johnson is going to throw at him. The difference between Jeremy Stephens and Michael Johnson is night and day. Jeremy Stephens is all power, come in your face, power, power, power. That sounded really weird. Power, pressure in your face. Okay. Michael Johnson is combinations, jab, 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 in, out, in, out, in, out, not a power puncher. So I'm not worried about Michael Johnson, putting Emmett on his ass, even though he did it to Khabib. I know. But look what Khabib did to Johnson in the wrestling department. I think Emmett's the better wrestler also. I think if Emmett gets this fight against the cage in the clinch, leans his shoulder in and kind of gets a sweep and gets on top, I think Michael Johnson's in a lot of trouble. In the striking department, it's going to be whether or not Emmett lands those power punches. And I think like I said, I think he really understands what he did wrong. I think he's a very intelligent fighter. He made one mistake and he paid for it. I like Josh Emmett. All right, guys. Look, I appreciate the support. If you got questions, feedback, anything, you guys could always DM me on Instagram or Twitter. I try to respond as fast as I can. You can write in here. And let's have fun. Listen, we got some big fights on Saturday night, man. There's a lot of money to be made in this sport. Keep sticking with me. I'll get you guys paid. All right? Enjoy the fights. Let's get it.